The HR Bombs episode of the Bottom Line Bombs on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Circus Sports. Circus Sports is back with their Circus Survivor and Circa Millions contest. $14 million up for grabs. Get all the details at circusports.com. And with that, let's bomb away. Yes, welcome to the Bottom Line Bombs. I am your host, CJ Sullivan, the man in the box. Wow, look at that. Real radio excitement happening. Voice, energy, coffee, the whole thing. I switched to an iced Americano. Which I learned is just espresso. It's different than regular iced coffee, just espresso. I was also told by an insider, a Starbucks insider, he'll rename nameless because I want to hurt his standing at the company. But he broke down a hack on how to order an Americano like cheaper, something like, everyone's got Starbucks hacks. Yeah, you got 3 shots of espresso in a cup and fill it up with water on a hose in the back, and you put ice, the same thing. Great. Okay, I'll do that. And then what do I do with the 14 cents that I saved? What do I do with that? Roll that into a Mega Millions ticket? Anyway, we are here on July 10th. Oh my God, July 10th. Monday, noon, as we do it live, noon Pacific from Los Angeles, Mondays and Wednesdays. That's the summer schedule, at least. We'll be come football season. We might be adding shows, changing. We'll see what happens there. But as for now, we're live on the Monday and Wednesday. Welcome. Thank you for everyone who is joining us on YouTube. Is this the part where I talk about Twitter? Where I'm like, I should really update the thing and post about the comments. That's what I'm going to do right now. I don't know if I know that. On today's show, it's the oh God, I'm just hearing myself. I'm so bad at this. On today's show, I'll recap what happened, of course, in the weekend just right now on the week sports. Not much to go. This is the dead zone, the black hole sun zone. But we will preview tonight's home run derby. That's actually kind of fun. It used to not be fun, but now it is fun. Sort of. It's fun to bet on. They've opened up the betting thing there. This is the only time in the calendar year where there are no professional sports is today. The other day of the year is the day after the All-Star game. It's the day before and the day after the All-Star game. No there's WNBA now, but it used to be, of the 4 major men's sports.
Now we got a problem.
Not real sport. I didn't say real. If I said real sports, then we got a problem. Men's sports, I should say that. Yeah, the day before and the day after the All-Star Major League Baseball All-Star game is the only day of the calendar year where you can't bet on an actual sport. That's why they have the ESPYs the day afterwards. The glamorous ESPYs. I hate the ESPYs. But sports prom is just absurd. Trying to all right, let me God damn, why can't I do this right? Okay, here we go. I'm going to quote tweet the thing. I don't even want to get into the sports ESPYs yet. What am I doing? I'm sorry I'm starting off like this. I need someone to do this for me every fucking time. Because I told you and I explain it every time. I don't even explain it right. So the SGPN Twitter feeds, they tweet out my show. Okay, come watch it. And they do. And people do. And I thank you for doing it. But on Twitter, you can only watch it without doing the comments. See, YouTube is where you can do the comments. So I have to go copy and link. This is very exciting radio. This is where I copy the fucking the YouTube link, quote tweet the Twitter video, and try to direct people towards the YouTube, because that way you can get in and be part of it. Now I have to do this on Threads too. Is that a thing? I signed up for Threads this weekend. If you want to follow me there. Matter of fact, let me get some banners going. That is, how do we do this? Yes. That's just a thing on Instagram. So my Instagram name at CJ Sullivan was taken. Bunch of underscores in there. CJ Sullivan was taken. That's my Threads name too. Threads is just Twitter, but it's Zuckerberg. It's Instagrams, which is ridiculous. So everyone wants to go over there. Now. We just decided that Zuckerberg's a good billionaire. Is that it? And Elon's a bad billionaire. It's the same fucking thing. Yeah, but we hate Elon. We like Zuckerberg. Okay, sure. If you say so. And then you go over there and it's the same bullshit. Great. Another goddamn social media thing to waste my life in. Anyway, that being said, let's get into the show. JC from KC says bombs away. Yes, sir. I'll give you a bomb. We will have some home run derby bombs coming up and some great other stories. He had the Northwestern story I have to get into. Bob Higgins, he's hilarious too. Let's see. We have the weekend of sports. Like I said, this is the dead zone. You have the Wimbledon. I have a Madison Keys future to get out of the quarter plus 600. She's got one more win to go. Come on, Madison. Like I said about Wimbledon, I think I'll get into the. I like the Wimbledon. The hours are a bit weird, obviously, because it's in England. The all white's a bit odd. You can't tell who's who almost, but it's the fucking screaming. Like I said last time, not just the play. I get the players screaming. Everything's just tennis in general is just a lot of grunting and screaming. The line judges, it's dead silence. Like, all right, quiet, please. First service, let. Second service. Oh, Jesus. Can you just say out? Can you just say out? It's out. All right. Another fun story is they finally after like 300,000 years of the royalty of Wimbledon, they allowed women to wear off-colored underwear so their periods won't show. That's a true story. They hated the all white because they were scared because if they were on a period, it would show, which is a pretty legitimate argument on the women's side, I must say. Horrifying. That must be horrifying to be on national TV playing Wimbledon on your period in general, and then in a completely see-through white tennis outfit. But you couldn't disgrace the traditions of Wimbledon and the pure white lily snow purity. They finally changed that. I know. We'll get into that Chad Morris. The Seattle All-Star game is in Seattle. They'll run on the Pikes Place fish toss tonight and tomorrow. My God, are they going to show the fuck out of Seattle? I'll toss that up there in a second. Yeah, so let's see here. Let me take a quick ad read, and I'll get into the show. I'll recap what happened there with Shank and Wimbiana, Northwestern, Higgins, home run derby, all-star game, man in the box at the end. We got a lot of things, but first, let me tell you about Circus Sports. The Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back. 14 million guaranteed and prizes up for grabs. What a great overhead. Y'all know how to do this. Enter the contest where you can. Circusports.com for all the details. The Circa Millions, 5 picks against the spread each week. It's a season-long thing, Survivor season-long thing. You pick one game, money line. That's it. All you got to do. Pick one team to win, and you can't do it again. It's the most fun contest you can do as long as you stay in it. However, last year, I'm going to do it again this year. I want to run it back. I was out week 1. That's the best. It was $1,000. I have a chance to win $10 million out week 1. I got a ball cap. All right, fair enough. But anyway, it's a fun game because you don't have to worry about one game, and there's a little strategy. There's a lot of strategy involved in all that stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Yes. But thank you, Tom Morris, and everyone for joining in. I'll get into that there. Like I said, not too much going on besides the weekend. Our golf bombs, we missed the winner. We had Adam Schenk, who came in 4th. 2-stroke. He was 1 stroke behind going into Sunday. He didn't have a great Sunday, but he did finish 4th. We hit him for the top 10 plus 400 through that. We missed the other stuff, but that chopped up. Step go. Jesus Christ, he almost shot a 59 yesterday. Good for him. But we'll take it. We'll take a Schenk top 10. That's a plus 400. We'll win that. Wembiana last night had a good game. His first game, he was terrible. I love that. I love judging someone on a summer league thing. First game, he's Sean Bradley. What a bust. Biggest bust in the world. Then last night, he's good. All right, here he is. The greatest phenom of all time. Because of 2 summer league scrimmages. I have to talk about, actually, it's bad beat. I don't bring up bad beats a lot on this show. Because everyone has bad beats. And some can be funny. Some are ridiculous. I have a future on I put a future on Portland to win the summer league at like 10-1 or something. Small, whatever. Some kind of rooting interest. Then I'm like, yeah, maybe. Some people's like, there's a good market in the summer league. I don't mind sports like that where there's a market, like preseason football. I like that stuff because, I think there are easier numbers to get than regular season. The regular season they're tough. So, but yeah, let me try some summer league. I made my first and last summer league bet of an individual game that night. Not the Wembiana game, but before that, the Scoot game, Portland versus Houston. It was a pick'em. I had Portland. This isn't even a fucking Rucker League game. Because the Rucker League game, they wouldn't even tolerate this shit. They would beat the hell out of them for doing what they did. Portland's up 2, about to run the clock out with 5 seconds to go. Houston's not even going to foul. I'm like, whatever. Let's just get out of here and go have sex with whores in Vegas. We're young millionaires in Vegas in the summer. Let's go enjoy that. But Portland instead decides, let's do a little fucking, for no reason. He throws up an alley-oop. They miss it. Turnover. Timeout. Houston has the ball with 0.6 seconds to go. They can't even advance it with 0.6 seconds to go. They throw up a lob. The defender fronts him for some reason. Guy hits a buzzer beater. They lose by 1. I was like, oh, okay, great. I forgot. This is ridiculous. These people do not care. So I feel fortunate, actually. It was a good lesson. Okay, great. I'm done betting. I'm done betting summer league, except for the future I have on that. So, although, how about that Wembiana Britney story while we're at it? I might as well talk about that real quickly. Britney Spears. If you didn't see the story. In Vegas, Britney Spears saw Wembiana. How do you not see Wembiana? He's 7'5", and just comes running up behind him. And goes to tap his shoulder, jump up and tap his shoulder. Security guy smacks her fucking hand out of the way, and Britney hits herself in the face. It became a story. Britney's like, I want to sue. And footage came out of it. And like, yeah, okay. I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge Britney. Who knows if they were going to sue, if that's just a story that came out. You would think she would know better as a extremely wealthy celebrity herself. A crazy one at that. But that video, that's such fucking girl at a bar energy. I'm just going to run up and hit a guy. I'm going to take your hat. I'm going to fucking drink it. Because it was like a drunk girl at a bar. He's just going to take your hat and throw it because I can do whatever I want. You don't go fucking run. How does Britney Spears not know that? They go running up on someone and hitting them. You're a celeb. You have crazy people, but she is crazy. Don't get me started on that. That whole free Britney thing. Dude, like she was Nelson Mandela. I mean, I get it. Whatever. You know what? Also, Let her have her money. I'm not saying that. I don't know, the whole dad thing, whatever, conservatorship or whatever bullshit. But I can see where she could be. I can see where a judge might have gotten evidence that we haven't gotten. Says maybe she shouldn't be in front of her kids all the time. Maybe someone should step in with that. But if you want to be crazy and blow all our money, no one stepped in for Nicolas Cage and Michael Jackson buying gold fucking lions on a shopping spree. Like, whatever. Kanye wants to build a school and then whatever. Spend your crazy money. I think you should only be crazy if you have money. But anyway, let's get into the real stuff. Before we get into, yes, Brittany is on the Wembiana Shrek list. That's hilarious. Let's get into that Northwestern story. If you didn't see, Northwestern's in the middle of a hazing scandal. There was a hazing thing last year where a player said there was a bunch of hazing going on in Northwestern. So Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, suburb of Chicago, the Ivy League of the Midwest. I hate it. I don't like Northwestern. I lived in Chicago many years. Love Chicago. Great, probably the greatest city in the world. At least in the summer it is. Northwestern, I don't hate Northwest. It's gorgeous up there in Evanston. But Northwestern's hilarious because it's a great school, but they're also in the Big Ten. So they wanted both. They always wanted both ways, Northwestern. They want their athletics to be part of the Big Ten. They want it to matter, but yet they also want to look down upon you with their academics. And you can't have it both ways. I always love like when their football teams like host Ohio State or someone comes to town, and then there's just like 30,000 real Big Ten fans come in, and they're throwing up on their shrubs and pissing all over their fucking Ivy campus. And again, you want Big Ten? This is Big Ten, okay? Big Ten are morons funneling beers and throwing up on your statues, okay? That's what Big Ten is. So they have this program, Pat Fitzgerald, who's built for Northwest, Southside Chicago, went there, blah, blah, blah. So they had this hazing thing. And so Northwestern, which is a real football, a real Division I scandal. So Northwestern, they did what football and athletic schools do. They're like, we'll handle this. We'll do our own third-party investigation. We'll hire it. We'll look into it. No big deal. So they did. They hired a law firm to look into it, who they paid, got the results, and said, all right, looks like some shenanigans might have happened, so we'll suspend Fitzgerald for 2 weeks before the season even starts. Well, it's real harsh penalty because he had no idea what was going on. The problem is, you're doing this at a school known for journalism. It's a smart school, but journalism is what they do. Them and Syracuse are the two biggest journalist schools in the country. So their student newspaper isn't just a fucking gumshoe. Hey, Timmy for the Gazette. What do you think the record's going to be this year, Coach? No, these are fucking journalists that are going to crack this case pretty easy, especially when the victims are their fellow students. So they came out with the Daily Northwestern, doing the only journalism in this. They came out with an article which detailed exactly what happened in the hazing. And if you haven't seen it, it's if you haven't read it, the Shrek thing is there's a. Let me look up Pat. Let me look up this. I mean, it's pretty. It's all the hazing thing. It's so weird. The hazing in football and high school and college. It's just overtly sexual. It's always just fucking very homoerotic. Really, it's just them grinding on each other. An anonymous former player told the Daily Northwestern that the sexualized hazing activities took place in the team locker room. One common practice was called running, involving a younger player being restrained while 8 to 10 older players and engaged in dry humped them, basically. Engaged in a sexual act in the locker room. Versions of running took place during certain portions of the year, including Thanksgiving, which they called Runsgiving and Runsmas. He said it's a shocking experience as a freshman to see your fellow freshmen get ran, but then you see everybody standing by in the locker room, blah, blah, blah. It's just a really abrasive, barbaric culture permeated through the program for years now. And then they called it, and so then they said that Pat Fitzgerald didn't know. Then they sent screen grabs. There's a whiteboard in the middle of the locker room for 4 years that had a Shrek list, they called it. And they would do a Shrek. They would do a Shrek clap over somebody's head if they needed to be ran. And Fitzgerald apparently would do the clap as well during games, whatever. So they're like, oh, okay, he wants to do it. I know. Captain Insano joining the list, and he's right. Now Shrek is back to the mainstream. Thanks, Northwestern. Now I have to look it up. I never really saw Shrek. I'm sure it's great. But how dumb is Northwestern? And the president of Northwestern goes, well, upon further reflection, maybe 2 weeks wasn't enough. Yeah? Is that what you think? Is it reflection? Or was it an actual article came out that showed what we all know? We all know what you didn't know. Things were revealed, you mean?
I want a dick rubbed on me tonight.
That's what happens in the shower. And of course he did know. I mean, that's the thing they say, you know, and Captain Insano says they must really like Disney movies. That's the thing. I will say this, though, as he says, how did he not know? He knew. Obviously, he knew. He put it on the whiteboard. He told people how to do it. But, God damn it.
Tonight's edition of That Was a Disgusting Act.
It was also a weird shower situation. Read the whole article. I don't even want to get into the details. A boy, hey, it's just boys being boys, a little horseplay in the shower, you know, sexually assaulting each other. This is if you had a bad practice or something as a freshman. But yeah, he definitely know. But I will defend him in one ounce of saying, how could he? It's when people say it's your job to know. All right, that's true. But remember when you're 18 and 19, how hiding shit from adults, what you would do to do that. And you thought you'd do it, they would always know. But he knew. Of course he knew. How do you not? That's a good point. How do you not know if half of your freshman class is getting fucking raped in the locker room, for God's sake? I shouldn't say raped. It's not that. But, you know, let me I finally have a chance. I go to the boys' soundboards, and it's all about gay jokes, and I finally have a chance to use it. Where is that? Is disgusting act.
Dong. Long cocks.
That is a disgusting act.
And it's not like they're good either. All this, like, I get it. He's the only coach you've ever had, and he is Chicago. But fuck, they were 1-11 last year, for God's sakes. I mean, what? For Lord's shit. You're going to have people back into the shower here at Northwestern?
That is a disgusting act.
Serial joins the comments. Whatever happened to the good old days when they just gave the Friar haircuts like Tebow? Yeah, tape them to the goalpost. Put shaving cream all over the balls. It is so fucking homoerotic, the hazing that goes on, especially in football. Because it's summer, they're all juiced up. They just want to hump things. I don't know. But I just love how they thought they were going to get away with pulling something in the school newspaper at Northwestern. Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. The Shrek list. I should get into this more. Let me get into this more story. Hold on. I mean, the Shrek clap Why do we have to talk about Shrek so much? They say it's done under the smoke and mirror of team bonding, runs giving and runs miss. The members allegedly identified players for running by clapping their hands above their heads around the player, known as the Shrek clap. A player clapping his hands during a game, which the anonymous player said in motion taken soon. Then Fitzgerald made the signal during practice when players, especially freshmen, made a mistake. That's when everyone would look at it and show him, like, bro, Fritz knows about this. Fitz knows about this. Of course he does. Football coaches in general, they're such fucking meatheads. They never grow up. They never get out of the dry hump. The Jalen Green video, yeah, I know. Serial talks about that. That's different. The basketball, when you combine it with the basketball culture, the gay basketball, you don't. That's why they're on the down low over there. They do not play that shit. They humiliate you for that. Guys drive. Then there was the other one too with the Wake Forest baseball players. Remember that? And after they won the game, the one guy was like he mimed skull fucking his teammate. I think the natural conclusion is all college male athletes are gay or want to be. Now, it's just them thinking gay is funny. I don't know. And humiliate. It's not a good culture. People, I mean, I should talk a little serious about what happened. Because the players say not only is it obviously sexual abuse and engagement, but like people were threatening suicide and just terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. But Fitzgerald has to get fired, right? I mean, there's just no way around it. You have to fire Pat Fitzgerald. You can't for 4 years. You can't have it on the whiteboard like it's part of the playbook. Okay, we play Michigan this week. So obviously we're going to run a 4-4 stack because they run the ball very tightly. Also, Jenkins dropped a pass this week in practice, so we're going to run him and bend him over the bench, and everyone's going to take a turn on Shrek fucking him. All right? Okay, bring it in. Wildcats on 3. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats. He's got to go. Oh, man. These coaches are amazing. And they just think, like, I don't know. They have 2 weeks. He said, that 2 weeks, I'm going to do a lot of reflecting in that 2 weeks. He probably had a fishing trip planned. So I don't know if he's going to come back. Or maybe I can fire him and he'll come back like Bob Huggins. How about Bob Huggins? He is amazing. He must have just woke up from his hangover and like, what? I resigned? Nah, they can't take that seriously. Fuck you, I didn't resign. Bob Huggins, if you haven't heard, of course, a couple weeks ago, he did those hilarious homophobic Catholic jokes.
Catholics don't do that.
No, we're above the fracas, aren't we? No problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I tell you what, any school that can throw rubber penises on the floor and then say they didn't do it, my God, they can get away with anything.
Rubber penis. Because this
I think that was just a crosstown shootout, wasn't it?
it was transgender.
I like giving Huggins a soundtrack.
It was a crosstown shootout. Yeah, no, what it was all those fags, those Catholic fags, I think.
Jesus Christ. How was he not?
Don't do that.
How was he not fired immediately for that? It's amazing. That's when they did some West Virginia did reflection. Yeah, we don't care about that. Then he gets that DUI, hilarious DUI, where he didn't even know he was in Pittsburgh. A car, he couldn't even pull the car over to the side of the road. Garbage cans full. So they say he resigned, which he probably did from jail or whatever. And then he woke up. Whoa, what did I do last night? I know I said I'd quit drinking, but and I just quit, but no. I'm Bob Huggins. I run this fucking state of West Virginia. And he does have a point. I coach basketball at West Virginia. People don't care if you have a back seat full of empty beer cans while you're driving cross country trying to drive through Pittsburgh. That's the only way to get through Pittsburgh. You drive drunk and you drive fast and you get to West Virginia. So now he says he's going to try to. Now he says if they don't let him back, he's going to sue. It Cheers to Beers brings up, and that was online. That's right, exactly right. It was like that episode when George quit his job and goes back the next day and act like nothing happened. Yeah, no. You resigned, Bob. Did I? Yeah, you did. Here's the letter. It says you. I don't think that's me. I was drunk. That talk to drunk me. Sober me says no. That's a true story, by the way, that George Costanza, Larry David story. He did that, I guess, with Saturday Night Live, and it worked. He was a writer for Saturday Night Live, and he freaked out and quit because his sketch didn't get on the air. And then he just came back on Monday because his neighbor, the actual real-life Kramer, was like, go back on Monday. No one takes you seriously. And all the writers did, but the producers like, yeah, they didn't know. So he got paid for the rest of the year. Kind of a brilliant thing. So I like it. Higgins, here's the thing. All right, and then I got to take a break, and then we'll get into the home run derby bombs and the all-star game and then a man in the box. But my advice to Bob Higgins is to get out. Come on. Do not come back and coach. The times are obviously passing you by. You're way too old. I love you. I love Higgins, and I get all the people, the cult that supports Higgins. Even our own Moneyline Mac, and I love Moneyline Mac. He used to work under him, under a film crew or whatever. But obviously, it's time to go. Before you pull a Bobby Knight and just choke a kid, which is going to happen next, it's time to go. Remember when he didn't just choke a player, he choked a kid. And not just a player, not just Reed. Remember he took the kid, someone's like, hey, Knight. And he fucking just choke moded him. I mean, it's going to get worse for you, Higgins. Stop. Get Go scream at kids at a fucking like CYA game or some shit. Go to your grandkids' games and belliger refs for free. It's fun. That's right. Man in the Box does have all the facts. That's exactly right. I'm a bartender of idiocy. I know all those stupid stories. Anyway, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting real long. So let me tell you real quickly about Underdog Fantasy. We're brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. The Best Ball Mania 4 is here, and Underdog Fantasy is giving away $15 million in prizes. What? What are they? Funded by the fucking Saudi Arabia? Anyway, Underdog Pick'em is also a great way to get down your favorite MLB and NFL season player props. So many ways to win over there. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. We're back on the Bottom Line Bombs. Also, thank you for watching on YouTube. Smash that subscribe button and like this video. That's all part of it. That's going to do it for the ad reads. Underdog Fantasy, bringing the money. I see how Circa has $14 million to throw on the contest. I guess Underdog too. I mean, I guess it pays to gamble if you're the ones taking the bets. Go figure. Anyway, let's talk about the MLB All-Star Game. Man, home run derby tonight. Like I said, tonight is the home run derby. And it used to be terrible. It used to be one of the worst things in the world. Right? It used to be so boring. It was just nonstop, pausing, home runs, Chris Berman announcing it, going back for every home run. There'd be like 1,000, like Berman. There's going to be 1,000 home runs. Enough with the back. I want my baby back. They finally tweaked it. I used to love that old home run. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my thumbnail that I create. I create a fun thumbnail on Canva for every show. The old home run derby TV show. Remember that? It only was 1 year, but we've seen it. Yeah, that it was one-on-one. There's Harmon Killebrew versus Mickey Mantle. They would smoke cigarettes and have a suit, and they just fucking. It was amazing. Anyway, So from that TV show, I think is where it came in. I think it started maybe in 85. Home run derby is such a fun baseball exhibition because baseball, they don't know what to do as far as a skills competition, for All-Star weekend. They used to have the best All-Star game. They still do have the best All-Star game of the 4 sports because it's most like the actual sport. But you have to make a weekend out of it. So basketball, they have the best skills competition because you can do a dunk contest, obviously, and a 3-point contest. Those are fun things. Baseball, they didn't really have much. It's a home run derby. I remember in the 80s, as entertainment in between a doubleheader for the Phillies, they had a home run derby between Greg Lazinski and Dick Allen at the Vet. In between games as entertainment. They were talking about smoking cigarettes while you hit there. Anyway. So the one-on-ones are fun. So that's what they finally do with this. Now, they've finally done it now where there's brackets going on. There's 8 people in the home run competition, and there's bracket formation. It's still a bit weird because you get 3 minutes and there's distance involved. It's funny. Then every year it seems like one guy will hit like 40 home runs in a round, and he obviously wins. The Josh Hamilton effect. And then he's exhausted by the time he gets to the last round and he loses. So he's not the champion, even though everyone knows he's the champion. But that's the way it is. So it's up in Seattle. And like you said, there's going to be a lot of shots of the fish market being shown. But there is stuff to bet on. Let's take a look at all the brackets. Now, the 8 guys we got, Pete Alonso is the favorite at plus 310, I think he is. He's won it twice. He was in the finals 3 years. He lost last year to Soto, who's not in it this year. So he's the favorite, as well as he should be. We're not going to go with him. And you got Julio Rodriguez, who's the local boy. Hot young rookie. He had like 35 one round. And you got Vlad Jr., who's not having a great year. Luis Robert, who I love, just in general. If you for the Chicago White Sox, Robert is hilarious. He's fucking huge Cuban dude. He's got 50 pounds of jewelry of necklaces on. His shirt just wide open. He's like a fucking like he's on an island, like on the cover of a romance novel, like a modern day, like fucking Fabio. A black Fabio, Blabio. Blackio? No, you can't say that. Anyway, I love Luis Robert. Matter of fact, let me get out my prop sheets. I'm not going to take him to win. He definitely should win that first. He's number 1 seed, I believe. Yes, he is. And he's going against Adley Rutschman from the Baltimore Orioles, who's not having a great year. He's new. It's his first year, but his odds are way, way, way too high. Robert's like minus 250 to beat him, and Rutschman's plus 200. If I was to bet, I would take Rutschman there just because of the numbers. But I think Robert wins that. But I am going to play Robert to hit the longest home run. Let me see where that's at. Because he does hit fucking bombs. The over-under for the longest home run is 490.5 feet. I'm not going to do that. You can take most home runs in the first round. If their first swing will be a home run or an out, you can do a lot of it. Here it is. Player to hit the longest home run, Robert is plus 350. So we're going to give that first one out bomb. The Cuban. I like Cubans in his competitions and all-stars. Cubans and this island, the Central Americans in general, Latin American football players in general. I like them for all-star games because it's about flash. It's about having fun, and they have fun. American baseball players don't have fun. Although that's how you win. That's why Pete Alonso wins, because he just stays the course. He's not going to hit 50 in a round, but he's going to hit 25, 22, and save his energy and call his timeouts and drink his Gatorades. But that being said, let's go over a couple of first-round matches. So we already start out with Robert, longest home run, 350. I like that a lot. Couple first-round matchups. We're going to go. This one I like. Adolis Garcia, another Cuban. I like him a lot for Texas. He's sneaky good. He's played this. He's familiar with this ballpark too. His first round matchup. Who's he playing? I think he's going against. No. Oh, he's going against the other. He's going against Randy Arena, the other Cuban from Tampa. See, another Cuban. That's tough. I like Randy too, but I'm going to take Garcia. He's minus 140. That's my favorite first round matchup play. A lot of these odds are pretty big. You get Vladimir versus Mookie. A lot of late steam coming in on Mookie. I don't see Mookie. I don't know. I don't know why Mookie's in this. I don't know why he wants to do this. I just want to get relevant, I guess. But our Dallas Garcia is going to be our guy. See, a lot of people like to spread it out. Just take one guy. It's the fucking home run contest, and it does get overbearing. I like the pitchers they use too. There's always a story. Was it Josh Hamilton brought that old guy, and then he got tired, and he got to yell at an old man. Come on, old man, fire these 70. You go Century 21 balls at me. Everything is corporate sponsored in this fucking thing. Then you have all the kids out there in the outfield. That's a weird thing too. 1,000 kids running around in a mass. Just weird massing, fucking swarming of kids blocking into them. Don't give them any gloves. I want to see kids get hit in the face with these balls. That'd be more fun. They'll bounce back. They're kids. You know. Back shots and fish shots. Convos on the same show. That's right. Yeah, I mean, we mix it up here in the bottom line bombs. Don Moore says Shrek list better than the MLB All Star Celebrity Softball game. I know that thing's horrible. I never get that Celebrity Softball game till they bring in the fences and the whole fucking thing. So celebrities have so misconstrued. Pardon me. They really misjudge how much we give a shit of watching them do other things other than what they do. Maybe if I was there, would I want the guy from Modern Family hitting a soft? But who gives a fuck if I'm watching on TV? Is there anything more unwatchable than a celebrity softball game or basketball game? Any of it? Unless like I said, the only time they should have celebrity softball games or celebrity football, any of these celebrity basketball games, is back the way MTV used to do the Rock and Jock. Bring in the 50-point, basket net and have real athletes out there dominating them. Humiliating celebrities. That I like. I've always said one of the greatest athletic things I've ever seen was a Rock and Jock football game where Cordell Stewart shook the drummer from Hootie and the Blowfish on a flag football game. It was amazing. Tore his ACL. Anyway, let's get back to the bombs. So I gave out Robert, longest home run, plus 350. Garcia over Randy Arozarena, minus one. I think it's at minus 160 now. It was at minus 130. I got closing line value in the home run derby. But he's going to be my pick to win it, too. Adolis Garcia, he's at plus 600 now. I got him at 800, but I'm not going to brag about that. So I'll give him out at plus 650. Oh, I'm seeing plus 650. Grab that if you can. Nope, down to 6-1. Whatever. 600, 6-1. Adolis Garcia, bomb it. He is my pick to ship. Ooh, and for fun, let's see if I can get a good. You can do an exact matchup, which is fun because a lot of times, like I say, you can also make him to reach the finals, which, like I said, is pretty good because a lot of times, by the time they get to the finals, they're exhausted. They get the timeout, they get the Gatorade. Garcia versus Pete Alonso. So why would I do that? Or Bear versus Pete Alonso. Whatever. Anyway, it's kind of fun. Not the celebrity softball games, but. And then we got the All-Star game tomorrow in Seattle. Oh, it's still in Seattle. That line's pretty much a pick 'em, and then it's over under is 7. Now, 5 of the last 6 games have gone under. And I usually do go under in these baseball All-Star games because the pitching is always better than the hitting, and the hitting's not familiar with the pitching. And the under should be to play. But now it's at 7, I don't know. And with the new rules, there's going to be a lot more stealing. There's going to be a lot more fun. And the interleague is just not the same. They got to change this format, too. No one gives a shit about the AL versus NL anymore. They're not alien. They used to act like they were aliens, like they've never seen each other before. They're all baseball players. We're going to go with over. I'm going to go with over 7 because you got it off the hook. So over 7 All-Star game to break the trend. Just because all the trends say under. Fuck it. New rules. Let's go over. But that's a game. I mean, whatever. It's kind of enjoyable, kind of not. The problem with the All-Star game now is everyone plays. Before, I remember growing up, that just because you had a guy on the team doesn't mean they was going to play. They used to try to win. Even before it was stupid fucking home field advantage for the World Series, which is insane. Todd Morris wants to know how many grunge songs will we hear going to. Hopefully we'll hear some Alice in Chains, Todd Morris. The man in the batter box. Yeah, no. Seattle grunge. Get ready for Seattle grunge. Fish market. Seattle rain. Oh, Seattle. The Emerald City. And then I love when they talk about it, the money it brings in, because there's a lot of talk. There is a lot of talk up there in Seattle. There's a lot of conservative, and in any city, they're like, oh, there's a drug problem. There was a story I saw where they just moved the homeless people away because there's a downtown area where you walk to the stadium and take the ferry over, or whatever. So they just moved them, which of course what they do. I mean, God forbid people see what's happening in America. That's every single city. Then they're like, oh, but it's such a boom. They lie. They say that there's a report like, oh, it's going to make the city $100 million. And there was some professor that interviewed goes, no way. That's absolutely not true. Maybe it'll add like $4 or $5 million. And all that money just goes to hotels. The All-Star game is not this huge tourist fucking attraction. Visit Seattle, which is the tourist site. It estimates the city could break its hotel revenue and occupancy record for a single weekend, but not for All-Star weekend. The bigger weekend in Seattle, they say, is 2 weeks from now when the Mariners have a regular homestand and 6 cruise ships are in town. The number of people just seeing Taylor Swift at Lumen Field, which will far exceed the number who go to the home run derby in the All-Star game. Yeah. Who you think? What do you think is going to make more money? Taylor Swift at the stadium? Or Pete Alonso hitting opposite field home runs to 100 kids? No one's flying in to see that shit. They should do they should do the order based on how far they can toss the fish. God damn, they should just combine them. The Space Needle, of course. If their game's in Philly, they're going to show cheesesteaks being made. If it's in Seattle, they're going to have fish being tossed around. And they have to show the footage in that way we don't know what city it's in. Anyway, so that is the that is the bombs that I gave out for the MLB All-Star in the home run derby. That's pretty good. What are we looking at time-wise? Jesus Christ. How does this show get so long on me? Because it's me, the man in the box. Because I have so much fun with you guys on the comments. JC from KC, Serial, Captain Insano, Todd Morris, beer. Cheers for beers. Thank you, everybody. Now let's get into the box. Speaking of Alice in Chains. And in the grunge. That is hilarious. Flannel. You ever see the documentary? There's a good documentary of the grunge era where they interview. And I've been to Seattle many times. And it's a beautiful city. It's great. The people there are fucking miserable. And I usually like miserable people, but they're oddly dicks. They just stare at you. They hate you just for being there. But whatever. But I do respect the attitude. I of it raining and being miserable. But there's a pretty funny documentary of like when grunge got big, and of course the commercializing and marketing of it, and how like flannel became a trend. Like they were selling like there's models doing the catwalks in flannel for the new grunge, alternative grunge. Like, no, we wear flannel because it's miserable weather. It's raining and we're in the woods chopping trees and throwing fish at each other. Not for a cool party. We do heroin and we want to kill ourselves. Don't you listen to our lyrics? That's what the grunge movement's all about. And shout out to Kurt Cobain, who went ahead and did that. Kurt Cobain, if he was alive today, would be, what would he be, 53 years old? He'd also be the only rock star to perform with a hole in his head if he was alive today, because he put a shotgun to his face. Or Courtney Love did it, according to what documentary you're looking at. Anyway, let's get back to the box. I'm veering off course here. What did I want to talk about in the box? Oh, a couple things. Speaking of canceling, I'm just looking at what was trending. I usually see what's trending on Twitter. Jonah Hill's trending on Twitter. I don't even want to talk about Jonah. I don't understand that Jonah Hill thing. Good Lord. I'll say this about, this is what I said about Jonah Hill. If you don't know the story. His ex put his text on blast, if you will, posted on social media. And it's him trying to be controlling, him basically telling her to stop wearing bikinis and, you know, sexy shit like that. Which is a weird request since she's a professional surfer. Hey, stop wearing your swimsuit online. That's kind of how I make money. All right. Anyway, the women are rallying around. Well, he's a piece of shit. This is how they get you. They want to control you. Yeah, I know. That's the way it works. Like, women don't want to control men either once they get in a relationship. Anyway, I might get into the whole fucking abusive thing, but I will say this. I've always disliked Jonah Hill, but I hate people who only think it's cool to say that once bad things happen about them. I don't want to jump on Jonah Hill for his dumb over therapy bullshit that he's doing. If you see his posts, they're ridiculous. He just talks like a therapist. Oh, they're my boundaries and it's me. Like, shut the fuck up. Keep that to your therapist, dude. Boundaries are for you, not for us. We don't want a ticket to your circus. He's just an absurd person. But I've been there from the get-go with that, is what I'm trying to say. I don't like when people chime in afterwards. I never liked him to begin with. Fuck you. Where were you beforehand? Don't be brave now when everyone's piling in on him. So I don't want to pile up on him. I had that joke when Kanye West said that he watched Superbad, and he thanked Jonah Hill for not hating Jews anymore. Remember he said, God is so funny. He's like, yeah, Jonah Hill, I used to hate Jews, but I watched Superbad last night, and you guys are all right. And my joke was, well, I hope Kanye doesn't watch any of his interviews because he's insufferable. And he'll go right back to hating Jews. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. But that's the thing with Pat Fitzgerald, too. I'm seeing that on Twitter. I never trusted Pat Fitzgerald. Fuck him. All right. Listen, you never said that before it got easy to do. I was in Pittsburgh when the whole Ben Roethlisberger, that whole Roethlisberger rape thing happened. That was a shame. Luckily, that's not a thing anymore. He got through that. But anyway, there was a time when those horrible stories were coming out, and then people were just piling on Roethlisberger stories, like one time he didn't tip at a restaurant and like all these other shit. Just like, okay, now you're just saying he's an asshole because you're allowed to. Just because you're allowed to talk shit doesn't mean you should. You want to have some courage, do it beforehand, is what I'm trying to say. Be ahead of the game in the hater business. One of my greatest hater achievements. This is years ago. I hated Julia Roberts way before it was popular to hate Julia Roberts. Not that anyone hates her, but she was a bit much, if you will, for the man in the box. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. But speaking of Julia Roberts, let's get into the leading ladies. I'm excited tomorrow night. I will not be watching the All-Star game. I will be watching. I mean, maybe I'll catch highlights afterwards. But I have tickets to go see the new Mission Impossible, which comes out July 12th. We get it at we get it a day early here in LA. July 11th. I like when they say that too. Movies opening up in LA and New York, select theaters. Then we get to decide if the rest of America gets to see it. It's the most pretentious bullshit in the world. Select theaters only. Give us a week with it. Then we'll decide if Iowa is allowed to watch Joyride or not. But anyway, I'm going to see Mission Impossible. I'll have a review for on Wednesday. I'm going to like it. You know why? Because I don't care anymore. As I get older, just give me the action. What a weird franchise Mission Impossible is. The first three are good. They're fine. But it didn't get great until the fourth installment, which is weird. Kind of like the Fast and the Furious. It just became a completely different series. It didn't get its sea legs, if you will. But I will say this. A lot of things Tom Cruise is doing his own stunts. There's a lot of videos leaking about that. Tom Cruise doing, which is, I get it. He's so rich. He doesn't want to. Shout out to Kyle Kinane, hilarious comedian friend. He has a bit. I mean, I think he did my own podcast from his locker room. He said, yeah, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. He flies spaceships and, jumps motorcycles off cliffs. He does anything to not confront that he's gay. Which is fun. It's kind of selfish. You're worth $1 billion. You're worth like 1,000 jobs are on the line. This guy's rock climbing and jumping off buildings. Hey, Tom, I get you can do it and you don't want to, face your demons, but buddy, come on. There's jobs on the line here. But anyway, and my other one, Sean Flannery, who I do another podcast with called The Blackout Diaries. I urge everyone to subscribe to that anywhere podcasts are told, Amazon or whatever, iTunes and Spotify. Blackout Diaries. Very fun. It's a drinking story show, and it's me and Sean Flannery. He's got a theory of why Tom Cruise is the greatest American movie hero, because in all of his movies, his job is trying to kill him. That's the plot of all of his movies. Minority Report, Mission Impossible. It's his job trying to murder him, and that's who we are in America. Our jobs are trying to kill us. I love it. I love Tom Cruise. He's always been hilarious to me. He's going to do it for another 20 years, as well as he should. Fucking do it. Remember when he was on Oprah? He's jumping on the couch. That was a big thing. Oh, look how crazy he is. He was talking about how he didn't do prescription drugs because he's an actor. I liked when he said and then he would adopt black kids. And Oprah's like, how do you do it? He's like, it's easy. I buy them. No, then he'd be like, I'm colorblind. He gave Oprah that line. I'm colorblind. I just don't see color. I'm also colorblind. I don't see black, but it's a condition. I really can't see black or white. When I hear it, that's easy. I can tell if you're black or white when I hear you. That's an old bit. It's good for my job. I give out bank loans over the phone, so that's all right. Anyway, enough of the racist jokes.
I'm just here to bring diversity to this set here. Give the kind of white man's perspective. Thanks for the point guard position.
This is what I'll say about. This is what I'll say. About the Mission Impossible movies that I always loved. So they're great movies. They're great action movies. They are what they are on the surface, So I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. What's amazing to me is every single installment of Mission Impossible, I think is what, number 7 or 8? This is number 8. Or 7 and 8. It's like a 2-parter for some reason. He had his leading lady in them in the Mission Impossible movies is the most beautiful, like exotic woman you've ever seen in your life. Like a combination that doesn't even fucking make sense. Like Dutch, Egyptian, Haitian, Irish, Scot, Canadian, pure fucking peacock. Like what is this creature? Where did you find her? She's incredibly gorgeous. Weighs like 103 pounds. Just like like those, international model types. And then so you're like, oh, and then she's in the biggest movie of the summer. So this is gonna be a big thing for her. Then they're never heard from again. Every one of them. They're just never heard from. They fall off the face of the earth. And maybe they get like another sci-fi pot. It's kind of like The Voice. The Voice is the #1 show, American Idol style. No stars come out of The Voice. The winner every year, they just drop off the face of the earth. Blake Shelton, he's around every year. Or Adam Levine, they hang out. They're stars. Their mansions keep getting bigger. They're doing their own stunts, but the talent is gone. These women, the first one, her name was Emmanuelle Bert. She was a nude model on a French farm they plucked her off of. Then they tossed her back to France. Thaddeus Newton, she's the exception. She was in the second one. She's in Westworld. She's in Solo. She's a Black Irish. She's just some incredible combination. But the reason why Mission Impossible 2 arguably is the worst one of all the Mission Impossible. So that's because they used a girl who still had a career afterwards. They fucked up. Then they brought in Michelle Monaghan 3 because they wanted to make it her family, so they brought her back. But she wasn't really the opposite. She was just like this fake set up fiance. Remember, it's like, yeah, now Cruz has a fiance. What? How'd this happen? Then where else? Paula Patton, is that one? She was in after being in Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol. She's half German, half Dutch. Then she was in a movie called Baggage Claim. What? How do you go from the Mission Impossible 4 to Baggage Claim? And then that's it. Then she's probably dead. Rebecca Ferguson, Mission Impossible 5. Then she was in a few sequels, but they'll throw her like in Dune. Girl on a Train. Ilsa Foss. Now they're getting too big. So now they're like, okay, we got to bring them back as characters. Like there's the White Widow one. What's her name? Vanessa Kirby. I wrote that one down. So now they're bringing a few of them back, but there's still otherwise like okay, we can't just keep killing off these women and they don't even say it why. They're just like, Tom doesn't like being around another woman for more than 3 months. It's in Tom's contract. From driving sports cars to rascals. I know. So the new one's got Pam Klimanoff. So what I'm trying to say, watch out, Haley Atwell and Pam Klimanoff, the new ones. Yeah, Vanessa Kirby. She's like they throw in the crown. Hobbs and Shaw. Someone has to be like, okay, listen, we just can't just keep disintegrating these models. People are going to start asking questions. Throw us a bone. There's so many goddamn shows. I think that's why Angela Bassett was in the last one. She was just like on a wellness check for these women. Just like, all right, what's going on here? All right, Angela Bassett's here. Stop fucking around. Are these people there against their will? Has Tom got you against their will? Anyway, so I'm going to see it tomorrow. Tickets are free. I just have to listen to a quick seminar about Scientology afterwards. Should be interesting. Just they said it's there's so many Scientology buildings here in LA. I walked down Hollywood Boulevard yesterday. I like doing that on Sunday. Scientology is a hell of a drug, Captain Say no. I'd say this about Scientology. You know what building they are in LA, because there are no homeless people in front of the Scientology buildings. They get rung up real quick. And there are a lot of homeless people in Los Angeles. That is well documented. You could fill up the Rose Bowl and then some. But in Scientology building, it's like that Naked Gun technology where they had where the guys would spray paint graffiti in the building, and then the shit would come up and spray painting them back, like something. That's what they do. I mean, they even know, do not fuck with the Scientology building. It is pristine, it is clean, and they are crazy. L. Ron Hubbard Sarah Silverman had a hilarious bit about Scientology saying it's not that crazier than a different religion. It's just that their God is named Ron. You can't have a God named Ron. Like, you can't pray to Ron, you know, which is a very funny bit. Sarah Silverman, very funny comedian. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's Bottom Line Bombs. That was the man in the box. Let me get out of there. Thank you, everyone, for joining me live. A lot of people in the comments today who watch us live on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe that button there on YouTube. I need to get these numbers up. And, of course, leave a 5-star review on the Spotify or iTunes or wherever the hell, whoever you got to do. 5 stars, then a good review. I don't even know if you can leave a review on Spotify. They just don't even care what you think about it. You're just pure numbers of them. But you can do 5 stars, so definitely do that. I'm going to give a contest. I'm going to give out a free Man in the Box T-shirt to a good review. As soon as I pull it out, I want to do that before football season starts. So all of July for sure. Like I said, we're live here, noon Pacific. I'll do again on Wednesday. I'll have my Mission Impossible review and All-Star games. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. CJ Sullivan was taken. At Twitter, CJ Sullivan _ Chicago, I'm coming to you next Saturday. I'll be at the Laugh Factory. I'm doing Comedians You Should Know at Timothy O'Toole's on Wednesday. And then I'll be in Milwaukee with TJ Miller up at the Improv in Deerfield. But I'll plug all that more on Wednesday. Point is, molesting the box shorts are a no-go. I know. I hear you. I hear you what you're saying, buddy. Anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you. We're still trying to clear with corporate with bird dog shorts of the no molesto shorts. But that's going to do it for the bombs. Thank you, guys. Have a good summer day.
Yeah, all the things that I do at 2.